Hi, everyone. Do you feel as a mom that your value has decreased? Your personal value has decreased because of the fact that your adult child is not walking a good path right now? They're not walking a path that you had, quote unquote, designed or laid out for them or had hoped or prayed for them? Does that decrease your personal value? I know a lot of moms feel that it does, and I'm not going to lie, I think at times I felt the same way. But there's such falsity in that. And I just want to talk about that today because I don't want you to feel that way. So for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Sally Harris. And this channel exists because I am a firm believer that every mom deserves a support system during this tough time. And I walked a difficult road with my own daughter for about 10 years. And while she was going out of control, I did the same. And those two didn't work well together, right? So I wanted to address this topic today because I know I did used to feel this way, and I talk to moms every single day, and I hear this in their voice, and some of them verbalize it and some don't. But your personal value is not tied to your child. And I know a lot of us feel that it is. But number one, I want you to realize, and you know this, you existed in this world long before you were a mom. We cannot have our titles of mom, spouse, daughter, whatever the title is, we can't tie that to our self-worth or to our value. And a lot of us do that because when things don't work, when things are going great, it's fantastic, right? Nobody talks about this kind of stuff. But when there's tragedy or things are not going as planned and there's crisis mode, a crisis season that you're in, moms tend to forget that they had value. They just throw everything into that pit, right? That I talk about the pit all the time. They throw everything in there as if they were never worthy. And it made me realize that I need to talk about this because it's just not accurate. Number two, when our kids complete us, like I mentioned, our kids cannot complete us. Our kids add value to our lives. They change our lives because we become a woman, single or married, and then you have a child. And whether you adopt that child or you give birth to that child, you love someone more than you love yourself. And as moms, I think when we first have babies, that's very accurate, right? We tend to feel that way. Like, how could I never thought I could love another human being this much. But as time goes on, we realize when we pour everything into our child, it's taking away from us as not taking away our value, but taking away our self-care. We don't spend as much time taking care of ourselves. And with that being said, that's how all these moms feeling like they have no value or lesser value, it's because they let themselves go in a lot of areas. Now, granted, there's times and seasons in life where you're busy and you're raising kids and there's just a lot going on, right? And you don't have a lot of time, but it's so important. It's kind of like dating your spouse. If you are not spending time with your spouse, how do you expect that relationship to stay fresh and stay in a good place? Same thing with yourself, the whole self-care. I think that word is overused, and I got to come up with a different word because a lot of people think it's selfish. Oh, self-care is selfish. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's mandatory. You can't be a good mom or a good wife or good friend or a good employee or whatever if you're not taking care of you, because it just boils over into every other area of our life. So we have to figure out who we are and what we like as individuals. And so I encourage you to really, take some deep thought about this. Really, go for a walk and think about this topic and think about, do I feel like my value as a human being has decreased because things didn't go the way I wanted them to right now? Like, you're a child of God, right? Whether you don't know what your faith is, but you are a child of God. And to be honest, I think sometimes we forget that, or we forget the intensity of what that means. And so I just encourage you today to really take a look at that and just kind of, spend time. Like I said, go for a walk, get out in nature. It's beautiful out almost everywhere this time of year. And so I just encourage you to spend time alone if you can, and just kind of meditate on all of that, because you are important. You are important as a human being, as a woman. Speaking to moms here. So, I don't want you to think you failed in life because you're going through this situation. And just, one last thing is I want you to remember is, just because today it looks the way it does and it looks really dark and bleak, maybe, we're seeing things in the natural with our own eyes. And I encourage you to realize that there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's a lot going on in the supernatural that you can't see, and that I believe God is working. And I just encourage you to keep the faith of that and never give up. You don't ever give up hope. We never give up hope. So I hope that helps. If you and I have never chatted before and you're interested in a discovery call, you can click the link below, and I look forward to chatting with you. Thanks.